Pupil or student, what is the correct use? I'm German and we distinguish between Schüler, pupil, and student, student. When reading English news articles, and I read the word student or students, most of the time the articles seem to refer to school kids, not university students. My questions. Am I right or is my impression wrong? If I'm right, why is pupil used so rarely?
I am from the United States and work in the public schools. It's my experience that people attending school at all grade school are by far most typically referred to as students, rather than pupils, both in conversation and in writing. I have met non-native speakers who find it disconcerting that we use the same word for first graders as college students, but it is the standard word to use, at least in the US. As one example, the school standards for the state of Minnesota refer to students throughout, regardless of age. For instance, the grades K-5 standards on the following pages define what students should understand and be able to do by the end of each grade. K-5 means kindergarten through 5th grade, ages 5 to 11 or so. You can also just refer to them as kids or children, if the school context is already there. If you know the specific grade, you can say first graders, second graders, etc. Pupils in any context is more unusual and sounds more old-fashioned. If you're interested, the Minnesota K-12 Academic Standards in English Language Arts are available for download at this URL.
In the UK, all school children were once known as pupils. Now older ones, at least, as well as people in higher education, are known as students, so the former term is disappearing. It retains its rather specialized sense in describing a trainee barrister.
In the following, the use of student is correct while the use of pupil is incorrect. I am a student of history. I am a pupil of history. In the following, the use of pupil is correct while the use of student is not, although it is sometimes misused as such. I am a pupil of Feynman. I am a student of Feynman. The latter implies that you are studying Feynman. The alternative usage of I am Feynman's student is not as commonly misunderstood and has entered common parlance.
I hope this may help you to understand the difference between pupil and student. A pupil refers to a young learner, usually those who are in secondary school and below, while a student refers to learners who are enrolled in a college or university. A pupil usually needs supervision and guidance from a teacher because of his young age or special needs, while a student does not because he can already learn and study by himself. Pupils are those learners who are below 18 years old, while students are those learners who are above 18 years old. The word pupil comes from the Latin word pupillus, which means minor or ward, while the word student comes from the Latin word stadium, which means study. Source: this URL.
In South Africa, British colony till 1910 and ongoing strong influence till 1961, children in junior school, 5 to 12 years old, and high school, 13 to 18 years old, were referred to as pupils. Students was only used to refer to people enrolled in university or some form of post-secondary, tertiary, education. I was born and raised in South Africa and emigrated to the USA in the early 1990s. I never hear or read pupils in the US. Students is a term used throughout. Americans are funny. They do not speak English. They speak a closely related language, American English. Referring to pupils as students is just the beginning. They even have graduation ceremonies for preschool and graduation ceremonies for middle school. And high school graduation here is a big deal.
If you want to support the channel, please consider subscribing.